rumors swept across the country concerning the death of Paul McCartney.
Rumors for the past few days that Paul McCartney was dead.
It was full of the news about Paul McCartney's death.
The fact that the Beatle Paul may be dead.
I was going to rant with you about McCartney being dead.
You heard that McCartney was dead.
Yeah, that's right.
October 1969. A radio DJ in Detroit receives a shocking call. Paul McCartney has been dead for 3 years, and his death has been covered up.
The fans say they can prove it in the songs, in the jackets for the record albums, and in other places. Clues by the dozen are lurking.
Paul is the only one standing with his back to the camera.
This scene is a funeral procession. Paul McCartney is deaf, out of step with the others, dressed in black, and barefoot because that's the way bodies are buried in England. And finally, his eyes are closed.
If you look at Abbey Road, on the license plate, it has this 28 if. And so that means 28 if Paul McCartney was still alive.
3 of the Beatles wear a red rose, while McCartney wears a black rose. McCartney's double is sitting above a sign which reads, I was you.
And that's on the desk it says, I was you. Oh, he's dead.
Inside the cover, McCartney's lookalike is wearing an armband with the letters OPD, which in England means officially pronounced dead, dead, dead.
Well, I don't try to go with it.
The speculation only abates when a Life magazine team locates the Beatle alive and well on his farm in Scotland.
Paul McCartney of the Beatles. He finally got in front of a camera in Glasgow today to put an end to the speculation that he is no longer among the living.
For most, it's a relief. For others, there is clear evidence of a conspiracy. What if they're right? For instance, on the cover of the Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, the Beatles chose to appear surrounded by their heroes and around a drum designed by a Joe F. Grave. But when the inscription in the middle of the drum is reflected in the mirror, the words, He Died, appear. Coincidence? Then why was the drum changed on later releases of the album? What if Joe F. Grave, who allegedly designed the drum, never existed? Is his name merely a mashup of the words epitaph and grave?
Other clues are said to be found by playing the records at different speeds or even backwards.
Number 9.
Does the track Revolution 9 really contain a secret message?
The song Revolution 9, there was a voice going, number 9.
Number 9.
And when you played it backwards, it sounded like, turn me on, Deadman.
Turn me on, Deadman.
Turn me on, Deadman.
Turn me on, Deadman. Turn me on, Deadman.
That was pretty bizarre. But how could you intentionally do that?
And what if there's a lot more? Did Paul McCartney call himself Ian Iachimo? Listen, reverse Paul McCartney. Ian Iachimo. Is this a clue? And what of? Why is Aleister Crowley, the infamous occultist and proponent of reverse speech, featured on the Sgt. Pepper's cover?
He instructed his devotees to learn how to read backwards and speak backwards, and his reasoning in this was that it would give them more power over others.
Let him learn to write backwards and listen to phonograph records reversed.
Nothing is real, you're singing fun.
I think it's not only possible that they phonetically engineered the song in such a way. I think it's more than possible. I think it's probable.
What of St. Paul, a major hit released in 1969 by singer-songwriter Terry Knight? There is speculation that the song is about Paul's death. Why was it acquired by John and Paul? Why is it the only song they owned besides their own tunes? Did Paul himself write it? 40 years later, McCartney is still giving his fans something to think about. Could the title of his latest album, Memory Almost Full, be an anagram for My Soulmate LLM, as in Linda Louise McCartney. And could the King of Cosmania also be an anagram for Son of the Magician, alluding to the very Aleister Crowley who appeared on the Sgt. Pepper's cover? George Martin, the famous Beatles producer, claims there is a secret code written on the CD cover of their latest album, Love. When reflected in a mirror, love reads, code. What is this code? What does this all mean? A conspiracy theory?
McCartney has never talked about it, which I always found very interesting.
A clever marketing stunt?
Because there were clues, these 3 albums began selling like gangbusters.
An obsession for the occult? Sheer coincidence? What if Paul was here? What if he is?